how in the hell are we supposed to play against these meta legends? We're talking Ashe, we're talking Alter, we're talking Sparrow. The power creep is nuts right now in Apex, let's face it. And I actually got a question underneath my most recent guide asking this exact thing. And I figured I'd make a video dedicated towards this specifically because I know that people are frustrated playing Control of Legends, but that doesn't mean you can't be successful and even like really good in this current meta with Rampart specifically. So I'm going to be talking from a Rampart perspective. I think other Control of Legends are still viable. Don't play Caustic though. He is not viable until they actually retool his kit. So now we're going to deal with Alter first. Now, what do I do against Alters? Usually when I see an Alter, I kind of change up my habits. Now, as a Rampart, you're going to be intermittently being defensive and resetting in like your little cocoon is usually what I call it. But I'd say you should be playing Rampart 70-30. 70% aggressively, 30% locking down areas and migrating between defensive positions. So when I'm behind these defensive positions, say an Alter's right there, or hopefully they're not that close, but say an Alter's right there, they're gonna try to kidnap you if you're just rubbing your balls up against whatever you're trying to hide behind. So what you wanna do is when you see an Alter, you need to habitually move yourself back away from whatever you're hiding behind or whatever you're reloading behind, because that's when you're gonna get kidnapped. Kidnapping is what makes Alter so dangerous, in my opinion. Yes, they can wheel and deal with her portals, and she has 2 of them, so she can just pop them and use movement and get in on you. But if you have a coordinated team with you as a Rampart, you're gonna be fine. Make them make the first move. And that brings me to my one overall tip, is with any of these movement legends, these power crept legends, make them make the first move. Do not play their game. If you play aggressively, you're starting out on a disadvantage, and that's not what you want. Now, if they push you, that is your advantage. You're a controller legend. That should be a given. You have the advantage when you are set up defensively or you are ready defensively. So make them make the first move when you see these characters. So maybe this season in ranked, you're going to be having to play a lot more defensively than you have in the past, but that's just what we have to do. That's why metas exist. So with Alter, let her do that. Everything else I think is very easily managed, especially with a coordinated team. Now, moving on to Ashe. Ashe, her dashes are where a lot of her kit's strengths lie. And again, playing aggressively, you will lose against an Ashe, especially if the Ashe is even slightly good. You need to be very defensive on an Ashe. Ashes are very cocky right now, and for good reason. They feel unstoppable with those dashes. So say an Ashe is right here, I am not afraid of an Ashe right there. Now, yes, she could pop her ultimate and get an angle on me, but that gives me time to adjust. That's totally fine. With an Ashe from this distance, always be real. Sheila is like, it's skeet shooting with Ashe out here. No matter how fast it is, I feel very confident on an Ashe from this distance. I will beam them before they get here. Now, when an Ashe gets here, this is when you need to buckle down right here. I don't know why it won't let me tag it. That's so weird. So weird. Anyways, so if an Ashe is right here, get ready for the dashes. Now, how do I get ready for the dashes? I always have an LMG, or at least try to have an LMG on me. Now, LMGs are actually pretty strong in this current meta, in my opinion, at least the L-Star and the Rampage. The Spitfire, I'm finding quite a bit of success with it this season too. I know it's not the best weapon, but I really like the Spitfire this season too. Now, feel free to let them dash, and you have that hip fire that you can go with. Now crouch spam to keep that hip fire better, especially with the Spitfire. That's why I like the Spitfire, is this hip fire is so accurate. And while these legends such as Ashe are utilizing their movement, they're gonna miss shots. Now, yes, you're gonna get one clipped by like an Apex Predator every so often. That's just the nature of the game. You're gonna get one clips on them as well. But they are going to be missing shots with that movement, and you capitalize on that by using an LMG, and you don't have to reload. When they're reloading, oh, look who has more bullets. I do. It's not that big of a deal. So yes, again, it's gonna be a pain, especially if you're trying to be aggressive on an Ashe. You're gonna lose almost every time, especially if they're good. But if you have a little bit of distance between them, be ready with your LMG or be ready with Sheila. You're gonna be fine. Now with Sparrow, I feel like his ultimate is pretty scary for Rampart. Each tick destroys one of her walls. It can destroy both of them in one tick if they're gathered together like this. So Sparrow's ultimate can F up your defensive positions. However, treat it just like a Horizon ultimate and burst it down as soon as you see it getting shot and planted. Because especially if your teammate is using comms or your teammates are organized, you guys can burst that down in no time. I do think it has too much health. 500 feels very excessive, especially when there's only one of you. But with Sheila, again, Rampart plays pretty well in this meta still, in my opinion. Sheila can burst that down in 2 seconds. Now, yes, you're having to devote your attention to something else other than the teammate, so just mentally prepare yourself, hey, I'm gonna burst this thing down and immediately try to be aware of where they are. So the ultimate is not as scary as everyone is saying. It's just more of an annoyance. Same with his tacticals too, as Rampart. His tacticals are gonna, I've seen his tacticals actually plant in the top of these things before, which is very interesting. I don't know if they're supposed to do that. Usually Rampart's top half of her walls reflects projectiles off of it. But his will embed in there. So that's not as much of an issue. And that's kind of how I handle these defensive legends. I have had to kind of dial back my ego as an aggressive Rampart and play a bit more defensively and make these meta legends, make these power creep legends, make the first move, always have an LMG in my back pocket that I can hip fire and kind of beam them out of the air or as they're dashing. And yeah, that's about it. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Please share your tips in the comment section down below. I didn't want to make this super long, so I'm definitely missing some stuff that I could have included, more detailed things that I do, as well as some clips, but you guys have all of those gameplays on my channel. You probably have seen some of them and what I'm talking about. So yeah, comment down below. I love you guys. I hope you guys are staying safe and take it easy.